You believe your graying hair is a problem that you need to fix. You usually do one of three things. Number 1, you dye them constantly, or you wear wigs. Number 2, you wear overly bright colors to overshadow it. Or 3, you wear soft and quiet colors like white and gray to blend in and match your hair color. But going gray changes your biology. It changes almost every aspect of your spectral type. When you fight it with random colors, you create visual noise. The human brain spots this mess in 30 milliseconds and refuses to build trust with your presence. Your changing hair isn't a flaw. It's a new spectral type that requires precise calibration based on science. If you've been relying on traditional styling and analysis, you need to know that those are built on guesswork, intuition, feelings, and outdated and unscientific theories at best. They will either claim that your colors don't change when you turn gray, or they put you in a different season with the same fail rate of 90% on average. In addition, they treat your hair, jewelry, makeup, and wardrobe as different areas and not a unified system. And because they don't understand your biology, especially if they still are talking about undertones, which don't exist in science, they give you colors that create visual dissonance and fragmentation for your unique spectral type. If you do not fix this, you pay a heavy price. It causes huge decision fatigue every morning. 120 hours per year on average wasted. You waste thousands of dollars on items that sit in your closet unworn as dead capital. Worst of all, visual noise creates distrust. You stop trusting yourself and people don't trust you either. It lowers your self-image and confidence, introducing negative self-talk and compensation tactics that waste even more time and money. But there's a better way. I help global leaders like you go from ignored to the 30 millisecond authority through the world's first science-based visual and vocal calibration. In the past 3 decades, I have developed the science-based Ray Spectral Analysis to help you replace visual dissonance with visual vitality by calculating the exact biometric frequencies based on your unique human spectral coherence code. I've done this with hundreds of clients in the past 2 years, while I have been doing calibrations since 1998. And there's something fundamental that you need to know about gray hair that nobody tells you. The moment your hair turns gray, it loses melanin, the pigment that has a very special ability to reflect and absorb very specific frequencies within the visible light spectrum, which gives your hair the very specific color, like blonde, dark blonde, red, brown, or black. When there's no melanin left, your hair starts to reflect the entire visible light spectrum, which is why it appears white. Thus, your hair also loses the ability to create radiance for your specific spectral type. To maintain visual radiance, you need your features to reflect and absorb specific frequencies within the visible light spectrum. Without this dual process, there is no radiance. This is the reason why matching your gray hair with colors like gray and white will in most cases make you look tired, washed out, depleted, aged, or even sick. You emphasize the aging and you hide your potential radiance that is still active in your skin, eyes, and lips. Let's have a look at an example, a current client that wished to have a public analysis. I will show you how I analyze her spectral type and how to achieve maximum visual radiance. I start with the root analysis of her skin, hair, and eyes. Her skin is based in the orange family, more specifically pumpkin orange, with a skin tone MPO4, medium chroma, depth level 4. Her hair color is also based in the orange family, pumpkin orange, with an average hair color SPO 20. Soft chroma depth level is 2. Now you see the range in her hair from white all the way to medium gray, which influences the dimension in her specific spectral type. Her eye color is based in 2 frequencies. The first is pumpkin orange, again MPO2 around the pupil, medium chroma color, depth level 2. And the second frequency is sun yellow. This is the biggest area in her iris, SSY9, a soft chroma color with a depth level 3, while the ring around her iris is SSY11, soft chroma color with a depth level 5. Based on this analysis, I conclude that her dimension type is duochromatic, which has consequences to the types of colors that she can wear, but specifically for the types of color combinations that she needs to go for to create the right dimension and maintain radiance overall. Then I move on to the CDC analysis, looking at chroma depth and contrast. Her overall chroma, based on skin, hair and eyes, is between medium and soft. Her depth is medium. Now this is the average of all the depth types between her skin, hair and eyes. Her contrast is in the medium spectrum. There are various color analysis systems that have different goals. Some aim to make you look beautiful, which is a subjective and cultural term. Some are convinced that you need to match your features to look flattering. Again, a subjective term. Others look for glowing skin and a sharp jawline, which ignores eyes, hair and lips, and how the features relate to each other in the context of their environment. Developing the first science-based system, I had a very clear goal in mind that was radically different from everything on the market. Not to be different, but to be accurate. Chasing beauty and flattering wasn't accurate enough. Matching features means you end up looking dull, washed out, sick, or overpowered and invisible. As soon as you try to deploy a simplified or generic system onto a complex one, like the 8 billion unique human spectral types, you get this fail rate of 90% on average. The only way to get accurate results is to pursue radiance, a biological state of the body where spectral dissonance and fragmentation are absent when coherent colors are introduced. All your features start to look radiant as one unified field. It enables me to not only analyze all 8 billion human spectral types individually across all ethnicities, but also all spectral ages, from baby all the way to graying hair, with mathematical precision, maintaining the highest levels of radiance at all times, seasons, and occasions. Traditional systems look at undertones, chroma depth and contrast as dependent parameters to then put you into 4, 12, 16 or 24 categories, which is extremely limiting, but is great to sell to masses because they're easy to understand. But simplicity doesn't guarantee accuracy. The reason why I achieve the highest level of accuracy on the market lies in the fundamental structure and goal of my system, which looks at all human biological parameters in your skin, hair, eyes and lips independently, while understanding their connection and interdependence scientifically. Thus, I calculate frequency and hue, not undertones, frequency relationships, chroma depth and depth ratio, contrast and contrast ratio, dimension type, root and polarity profile. This method removes visual sickness and replaces it with visual vitality, the first pillar that you need to build trust with other people. Let me show you what coherent color results look like using my client as an example. This is a selection of colors that she tends to wear, which range from warm all the way to cool colors in a scientific sense. When I analyze the root frequencies, they range from red to spring green, gentian blue, nylon raspberry, magenta, and white. Analyzing the chroma, they range between soft, 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 medium, soft, and bright. So if you just match your features or assume a one-dimensional result, like she's soft chroma, thus she needs to wear soft chroma colors across the entire color spectrum, you will make major mistakes. But you will also make mistakes if you just choose random chroma and depth across the entire color spectrum. Looking at the depth of all these colors, they range from light, medium, medium, light, and light. So overall between light and medium. So in hue, chroma and depth, these colors are incoherent with her spectral type, which means they are unable to establish visual radiance. But color is not the only aspect that is creating visual dissonance and fragmentation for my client. There are 3 more layers. She's choosing incoherent garment shapes and lengths for her body and polarity profile. She's also choosing incoherent fabrics. And she's also wearing incoherent patterns that introduce visual chaos. When you consider all the layers that can create a visual dissonance and fragmentation, you understand why garments make you look tired, washed out, overpowered, aged, or unpolished. The problem is not her gray hair or age that needs any fixing. It is her spectral and structural signal, meaning the colors and the garment structure. These are the 4 layers in order of their significance for your visual radiance. Colors play the biggest role, then comes shape and length, then fabric, and lastly patterns. Colors is something I help you with in phase 1 with the wardrobe calibration. Once you have that, you can work on shape, length, fabric, pattern, and much more in phase 2 inside the Ray Silhouette Masterclass. Let's have a look at her 48 coherent colors, 12 neutrals, and 36 colors, and how they establish radiance. These are her 12 coherent frequencies in the spectral and non-spectral range, showing her frequency quantity distribution, which simply means how many colors can she wear in specific frequencies. And the most amount of colors that are coherent with her type are in the Nilo-raspberry frequency, while the least amount of colors are in the true fuchsia and green spectrum. In chroma, she shows a mix between soft and medium colors. Medium chroma colors are on the periphery, in the orange to green spectrum, as well as in the non-spectral range from fuchsia to raspberry. Those are the chromatic anchors for her spectral type. In depth, she shows a mix between light, medium, and dark colors. And while dark colors have a dominant role as the depth anchor for her spectral type, it doesn't mean that dark colors should have the highest quantity in her outfits. So when you make the wrong choices in hue, chroma, and in depth, these mistakes compound in contrast, making you look washed out. When you make the right choices in hue, chroma, and in depth, they compound in contrast, making you look radiant and establishing the right dimension for your type. You can compare the before and after. And here's another example of it before and after. To move your image from spectral dissonance and fragmentation to an unassailable unified field, you can follow these 2 simple steps. Number 1, stop guessing. Don't buy trend-based items blindly that fight your biology. And number 2, stop the seasonal color analysis and DIY cycle and secure your custom wardrobe calibration. To discover your exact 48 biometric frequencies that establish visual vitality and build trust. I'm currently booked out, but you can get on the waiting list for the wardrobe calibration at the link in the description. If you try to DIY this through trial and error, you have to be aware that there are around 8,000 colors relevant for human spectral types. Now, how long will it take you to test all aspects? Hue, chroma, depth, and contrast to find the coherent ones? 32,000 single tests would be necessary under the same environmental conditions without you changing or aging. Even if you tested one aspect per day, it would take 87 years and 223 days. By the time you have likely finished the graying phase, which changes your spectral type dramatically in over 97% of the global population. Without a scientific foundation process, but specifically calculations, you can never beat time to find the answer. I do it in several days. I analyze your spectral type and calculate your exact 48 frequencies. And the next hard truth is that if you rely on your eyes alone, which all traditional color systems do, you will make mistakes. Because vision is dependent on the health status of your eyes and overall body. The level of inflammation decreases your ability to see colors right. It is influenced by your cultural upbringing, your native language, hormones, mood, your monthly cycle, your age, your environment, the level of knowledge of color science, your eye training, and much more. So relying on your eyes alone is a very volatile system that introduces a lot of flaws and mistakes. And if you're worried that you won't find the colors in stores that I developed for you, here are a few examples of pieces that you can find in stores right now that you can easily build into functional summer outfits. Something I help you with in phase 2. By the way, these are not random pieces, but tailored in every aspect to my client's type, from shape, neckline, length, fabric type, pattern, color quantity and color placement, shoes and accessories, season and daytime.